Do it's Chemdork.
Hello everyone, this is Chemdork, and welcome to episode number 63 of Season 2 of my Buildcraft, where we play Minecraft with the mods Buildcraft, Thermal Expansion, and Forestry. So, we're picking up the start of this episode pretty much where we left off last episode, except you'll notice one big difference, and that is a big structure that wasn't there before. So this is the structure that is now surrounding our robot mob farm, which is a working robot mob farm, so I needed a building of some sort to surround it, and here it is. It doesn't have doors yet. We're going to add those doors a little later. It does have a ton of chests around it, and these are all full of cobblestone. I greatly overestimated the needs for cobblestone, but that's okay. We'll get rid of that cobblestone later. So as you see, here is the robot mob farm, or at least the robot part of the mob farm. And the mob farm is, of course, down below. If you want to see how we put it together, you can just check out last episode and get a good feel for that. But the idea here is that the robots, sit up here, and then we turn these on. They turn on the night robots, which go down and fight some mobs, and then the picker robots go down and pick up the items that are dropped and bring them back here and drop them off over here. And as someone noticed, I should actually commemorate the first piece of rotten flesh. It's not actually here, it's somewhere else in a special location and a special chest to be found later so that I can mount it on the wall probably somewhere. But anyway, before we do that, we're going to fix the robot mob farm. What we have now is a problem, and it is due to, I believe what happens is this. So the robots themselves, you see this knight is itching to fight mobs. He is itching to fight mobs. But this guy, he has a sword, and he uses that to kill the mobs down there. Creepers explode, but they don't hurt him. And he kills mobs until the sword gets a durability of 0, or at least, yes, a 0. But it does not get destroyed. And that was where I was a little bit wrong. I had thought that the robot used the sword until the durability is 0, just like I could, and then it gets destroyed. But the robots don't have the sword be destroyed because the developers of the Minecraft mod, or the Buildcraft mod, I should say, were smart in that if you used an enchanted sword, you might want that thing back. So the robot effectively deactivates with 0 durability on its sword, and it just sits there. And I have a feeling what happens is when it deactivates, it still uses a little power, and then when it has absolutely 0 power, it basically turns into an item which can then be destroyed by a creeper. And so what I was noticing is that over time, I'd be just losing the night robots. They would just be gone. Not down there, not anywhere, not an item anywhere, just absolutely gone. And sometimes I would find them actually picked up by the picker robots, and they'd be in these chests. So I think that's what was happening. So what we can do, however, is get around this by actually using, giving the robots a place to drop off their used swords, and being smart about something which I was also wrong about. Initially, we had a great deal of discussion about where to put the place for the robots to get their swords, because we needed to have the swords located in this working area location. That is absolutely incorrect. What we can do is use another action of gate action called load unload an area, and we can designate a place for the robots to both pick up and drop off their sword, which is what we're actually going to do right now. So let's go ahead and grab where the swords are right now, which is, well, I'll show you where it is right now. We're going to grab some things from there. We're going to let the chest sit there so that we can, because I don't have room in my inventory for all the swords, but that's where the robots were picking up their swords. It was included in the area. What we're going to do now, however, is I need to grab it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some things there. Then I'm going to go back up, and we're going to set up a new area for the robots to drop off and pick up their swords. So I'll be right back. See you in just a minute. Now, where are we going to let these robots pick up and drop off their swords? Well, I was thinking we could actually probably just kind of throw them up here. So I'm going to put a chest right... Okay, I'm going to try it. There you go. I'm going to put a chest right there. And I'm also going to put a chest... Didn't I have 2 chests? What's going on here? Whoa, that's weird. I hate that bug when that happens. There's really a chest here. It's like... Okay. Oh, no, you know what? It goes into this backpack automatically, which is kind of annoying sometimes. But anyway, so here's my chest. Okay, so there's going to be one chest where the robots are going to pick up their swords, and then the other one where they're going to drop them off. So we'll put that one here. So the one where they're going to drop them off, obviously, we just need a cobblestone pipe. And then the one where they're going to pick them up, we need a wooden pipe. That's how that works, just because that's how that works. Okay, now we need docking stations, and since they're all going to pick them up at the same time, we're probably going to want them all to drop them off at the same time, or at least they may want to drop them off at the same time. So that's why we need so many docking stations. And now we just need to pillar up so we can see. And yes, guys, I know I will always get a comment. This dirt looks like I have infinite dirt. It's not the case. Actually, what I have is this thing. It's called a miner's backpack, and oh, well, that's all the dirt I have. But what? No, not the miner's backpack. I'm sorry. The digger's backpack, and the digger's backpack has a bunch of dirt. These are from forestry. It allows you to resupply with dirt, which is or resupply with items, so which is really, really useful. Okay, so here, this is the wooden pipe. It's where we're going to be able to let the knights get their swords. So that means when there's items in inventory, we want them to provide items to the robot, from the chest to the robot. If the inventory has items in it. Yay! It doesn't right now because we don't have any swords in there. And for this one, we want the robots to drop off their stuff, so accept items from the robots. And that is if there is space in the inventory. Okay, so we can do that. And now I can just transfer some of the weapons to up there. But first, however, let's actually designate this area as a place for the robots to pick up and drop off things. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the landmarks once again. So this is just going to be sort of in midair, I suppose. I'm going to put it over here, and then I'm going to also put it down. I'm going to go one block below this, just because I like to do that sort of thing, and then I'm going to go over here, I think. Yeah, since it's right there, we should be able to do that. Okay, so this makes a box. So if I right-click, it draws... Okay, it doesn't make a box. I'm an idiot. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about my idiocy, guys. If I just do this, now it makes a box. No, I don't think that'll do it. That won't do it. I'm an idiot. I know how to do this. I've used Buildcraft, I swear. I swear I've played this game before. Where can we put it? Right here. That's a box. Okay, so if I right-click on this again, it should make a box now. There we go. So in this box, this is where we want the robots to load and unload. So we're going to take this map location and right-click on this corner one. So this guy right here. So when I do that, it's making a 6x3x5 box, and this is going to be what we specify for the work in area. And before it gets too dark, let me go to sleep here in the game. I'll be right back. And we're back. So let's click this. So load, unload in area. We want this to happen when, again, the red pipe signal is on, and we specify this map location, which we just marked. So even though last episode we just went through where we couldn't stack or we couldn't have multiple work in area commands, the robots only followed the first one. If you have a work in area and a load unload in area command, these are different, so the robots do both of these. So the load unload in area does get priority for searching for places to pick up items, and you can see that. It's actually it'll pick up, the robot will pick up from the closest, I think, is actually what it is. So maybe it's not just a load unload area, it's wherever is closest that will they will prioritize that. But since this is going to be the only place where they're going to load and unload, then it just always gets priority. Ah, man, we want that landmark back. Come on. Hey, there's a fourth one. Where's that landmark? You know what? Doesn't really matter. It's okay. Okay, so that should do it. We just need some of the actual swords, so I'll be right back, because this guy does not have a sword. Yeah, I think one of them doesn't have a sword. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, well, we're ready here. I have some swords in here, just a few extras to throw in. Okay, so most of these guys have swords, so when we do this, some are just going to go right down and fight, but another guy is going to pick up his sword, and then there they go. So later on, after a while, I should see some spent swords back in here, And I will point out that I do notice some nearly completely used swords in some of these treasure chests, like that one. It looks like the robots might use it down to this part, and then they don't use it any further. I believe that's how it is. Oh, hey, creeper already. Okay, cool. So there we go. Okay, so these guys are picking up absolutely nothing so far because, well, they don't see anything down there yet. It takes them a while sometimes to see items. So the bunch of creepers have exploded. Let's see what happened. No, they didn't see it. Let's go ahead and see the robots in action, and then we'll get to our second task for today, which is going to be building something a bit new. My goodness, creepers are exploding left and right. And I have been hearing some endermen, so endermen are actually spawning in here. As you see. Okay, I see at least my guys. They're down there, and I think they like to stack up sometimes. And two of them were going down together, so they probably stacked up a bit. All right, so there's some things working. All right, so we'll be right back. Now, before we move on to the next thing that we're going to be doing with these robots, I have to fix a problem. Another problem that we created by putting these chests up here. Now, this is supposed to be where the night robots only drop off their swords. You'll notice we have not night robot things in here. In fact, the cool part is that we actually have a music disc, which is awesome. I thought this would happen because since the night robots, by fighting with mobs, they cause the mobs to fight back, we actually had a skeleton fight back and kill a creeper. Pretty cool. But anyway, we're not getting the swords in here because the night robots aren't going here yet. But the picker robots are. So what we actually need to do is, and the reason why is because the picker robots, I just have them designated to, in this whole entire area, to drop off things. They are sometimes dropping off things there because it's closer, but if this is closer, they'll drop off here. So we need to exclude the picker robots from this chest. And you see one of them's on its way right now to drop off things. I don't want them to go there. So what we're going to do is exclude... That is weird. What is happening? What is... What is it? Are you guys seeing this? Maybe it's because I dropped off the emerald pipe. Wow, that is really weird. But anyway, we're going to do the same thing. This emerald AND gate is actually going to be hooked to items in inventory, or I'm sorry, it's going to be if there's space in inventory, I should say. Do things. But for now, let me just say space in inventory. Do things. I like to keep it one block off just because I could go through a closed item, and I don't want that ever to be true. So what we're going to do is set it to yes, drop off items if there is space in the inventory to do so. But also what we're going to do is forbid a robot, and we're going to forbid pickers. So no pickers in here if space is in inventory. So we should not get any picker robots thereafter. So from this point forward, we shall not have picker robots there. Ta-da! Okay. So there we go. Now the picker robots should not go there, and they should go and deposit their wares elsewhere, namely in these chests over there, and I will move all of these... Ah! Look at that. We actually have a night robot. So we still have our problem. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why we're losing night robots here. I wish I could figure this out. But for now, this is working pretty well. So I will place this guy over here. I think that's where he lives. He's going to live somewhere. Probably here. Yeah, there he is. Okay. So he's going to go get charged, but still, I don't know why they keep on doing this. This is very odd. But anyways, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some stuff, and I'll be right back. Guys, I've made a discovery. So I have been, at least for the first part of this episode now, trying to fix this robot mob farm and realizing that we're losing night robots, and I thought we solved the problem by giving the robots a place to drop off their sword, which is nice, but it wasn't actually solving the problem because we saw in this chest, like literally right after we adjusted that, we saw a night robot appear in this chest, so we lost a robot. We actually lost two of them, so the one I put back is right here. I can just shift right click to get him back, and I can even, I can put him back again if I want, and that's fine. but I don't want to. What I want to show you right now is another thing I just sort of realized. We can figure out if our robots are dead or not by trying to place a robot here. And as you see, this robot station is red, meaning that no robot can be placed there because a robot is calling it home. And also over here, it's the same thing. I'm trying to place my robot, but I cannot. I can only place this guy right here. It means that these two robots are still around somewhere. So I went down there, and let me go and show you where I found this guy. So I went down here. Here we go. And come on, hurry up. There we go. We're going into a run right now. So this makes sense now. Okay, so there's all these mobs here, but basically you look inside, you can't find the robot anywhere, and this troubled me. So I got to thinking. Well, sometimes, at least a few times, I've seen it where I believe a creeper has done it, or at least another mob has pushed either, you know, another one of these mobs, one of these evil mobs has pushed themselves through a one block place. It's kind of like almost like a bug in Minecraft. So what I had a hunch is maybe if I just go around, I'll be able to find them. And in fact, look who I found. I found Mr. Robot. He's like dead effectively, but yeah, it looks like the robots are getting pushed through this obsidian wall by mobs sometimes, maybe by creepers who explode. I'm not really sure. Oh, there's our other guy, actually. There's our other guy. So if I get rid of the block, I wonder if he's actually deactivated or not. Oh, he's fallen down. Okay, he's fallen down. Now, if I hit him, he actually gets destroyed, and that proves my point. When they have no charge left, so they must have been here, stuck in here, and tried to fly to get out, but they couldn't. So they used up all of their power, got down to no charge, and then when creepers explode, when these robots have no charge, they get destroyed. Or they just eventually just get stuck in these walls and I can't find them anymore. So that's where our robots were. They have no charge, but that's where they were. Okay, so mystery solved. All I need to do is make sure I have a one block room around this mob farm so that the robots don't get stuck. Okay, well that makes sense. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna build all that sort of hallway, and then I'll be right back. We are back in business. Well, that took actually quite a lot longer than I thought to spend on the mob farm. One last thing to do, so I added a ring of hallway around the mob farm, or the mob fighting area. So now the last thing to do is to build these tunnels. And what these are going to allow the robots to do is to get back up rather quickly. At least I believe they are going to need to. So hold on. As we go down here. There we go. Okay, so we're in one corner of the tunnel. This is going to allow the robots some... I have 4 of them to dig, but it's going to allow the robots some places to get in pretty quickly, and this way, if the robots get pushed out, they'll have no problem getting back up, and so we shouldn't be losing robots from this point forward. Alright, so let me go up and add the last bit, and I should note that it's important I don't leave that as a hole. So what I'm going to do is basically have it, and I didn't show you guys this before, but kind of like this, where it's hidden from view, I should say, so that you can't fall down it, but the robots can certainly get back up it. So, and we might actually do something kind of nice, like, okay, so we don't need there. Yeah, we'll do it like this. There we go, cool. And then we'll put a little hat on it. I don't have a workbench here, so let's just throw one down. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so I just need a slab right on top. Whoa, we have a lot of slabs. We apparently have tons of slabs in the backpack, because that's why it was filling up so quickly. Alright, there you go. So there you go. So then now the robots can come right back up and join into the fray once again. Okay, so I'm going to do that for all those corners, and I'll be right back, and we're going to be starting to work on the next farm using robots. Alright, see you in just a second. Okay, so now that we fixed, or at least addressed most of the problems, I believe, that are in the robot mob farm, I have it shut off just for now, because I'm kind of annoyed at the creepers, just explosions always happening. But for now, let's go work on what we're going to be doing over here in this area. I got this nice, relatively flat, pretty decently large area, and now we have to decide what to do with it. Well, I was going to basically build another thing robot, and the first thing that comes to mind is a robot tree farm for the express purpose of getting various different types of wood. So normally in my forestry tree farm, I can build different, you can have a tree farm in forestry. It's pretty efficient. It's quite efficient, in fact. However, in the interest of doing things robot because, well, robots, we are going to do a robot tree farm, and what I want is not just to plant one type of tree. I want it to be where the robot will plant alternating different types of trees in Minecraft. Now, I just have oak saplings, birch saplings, and jungle saplings to start, but I want to expand this to a lot of trees. What I really want to do is expand it to forestry trees. However, at this point in time, there is an error or a bug with the sapling or the planter where it doesn't quite handle the forestry saplings the correct way. Hopefully that'll be fixed, and then we can include forestry saplings in this tree farm. But for now, let's just include the normal vanilla Minecraft saplings just to kind of prove a point and to start to generate our tree farm. So it's going to be a pretty simple, rudimentary working one by the end of the episode is the goal. So, what's our first step? Well, our first step is going to be denoting an area that the actual tree farm is going to be involved in, as well as making a place for our robots to call their home. And we already have right here a place for the robots to recharge, so we'll just maybe expand this so that there's another station pretty close here. And but otherwise, that'll be that. So let me start to lay out the land area for where this tree farm is going to be, and I'll be right back. Here it is, the humble robot tree farm. Well, it's not, obviously complete, but this is the area that I'm designating. I'm using a fence. I don't need to. I can just designate an area. I'm using a fence, though, also to help us designate an area specifically. So right now I'm facing north, so this will orient the map when I use this zone planner. And we're going to designate the area here, so I hope this comes up on the zone planner. It theoretically should. Okay, there you go. So it's kind of coming up on the zone planner. But it looks like this is the area here. So you can do this full screen, and we'll do that, and I believe it should be fine. Let's use pink because it's nice and easy to see, and let's add the area for let's add this area for designating where the tree farm is going to be, where I'm going to use the area to plant trees. That looks good. That looks fine. It's a little overlapping with this fence. I don't think that's gonna be a problem, but maybe it is. So if I can get rid of some of this area if I want to, I guess. There you go. That's perfect. At least I think that's perfect. I think that's designating the area properly. But we can always fix that later. So let's go ahead and call this something. This is going to be where the trees are. So we'll just say trees. So this is where the trees are, and then in this whole section I'm going to have as a load-unload area. And I have kind of plans for what I want to do here, but I'm not really keen on exactly what it is right now, so we'll just choose yellow. We'll designate, this area is fine, just like that. And this will be tree load. Tree load, that's good. Let's call it tree load, and there you go. So we're marking an area called trees, which is right here, and tree load, which is right here, next to the trees. Okay, so we don't need this right here anymore. I can go back where into our inventory. So tree load is basically this area right here, and trees should be the area contained by this fence. Okay, and then I have this little pillar here, and this is where we're going to put the rope docking stations for our main robots to be working on the farm. We need a planter, we need a lumberjack, and we need a picker. The picker is going to load, unload in this area and work in that area. Actually, you know what? All of them are going to be doing that. So perhaps we only actually need one. But just in case we want to add more later, this gives us the ability to expand. And also, I'm going to change the overall kind of layout of where the robots are and where they drop off things. For now, I just want it to kind of work just so that we can have something working, and then we're going to make it look a little better, maybe impart some functionality, some filtering of items, etc., because we're going to get a bunch of items from this, and I'm going to have a way of dealing with the excess items and that sort of thing, as well as making it a little bit smarter, even though the robots are smart themselves. For now, we are going to want to control it. So for now, it's just going to be a single lever control, and I'll set this up to a gate and a pipe wire, and that'll be for later. That's cool. That's great. Okay, so now what we need is a place for the robots to drop off things. So for now, I will also have a chest for the lumberjack to pick up his axe. I'll have chests for the picker to drop off their items, and also, well, that's pretty much it, right? Saplings are going to have to go one way, and the rest of the stuff is going to have to go the other way. So maybe what we do is we separate them for now, saplings and the rest of the stuff. And I don't want to put it there. I'll put it here. So okay, so there's going to be this is going to be a sapling chest. This is just going to be a place for things. And now, I'm going to put the sapling chest here. This is going to be where the lumberjack's going to drop off, or going to pick up his axe. And then I'll have this location be where robots drop things off. And it's going to be robots drop things off. This is going to include the lumberjack robot is going to drop off his axe when he's all done using it and pick up a new one from this chest right over here. And then the picker robots are going to drop off all their things here. So we'll just put all the rest of the docking stations right here for now. 3 should be fine. Actually, I won't need 3, but that's okay. We'll need some more stations, I suppose, because we need a station there. Maybe just 1 for now. Maybe just 1. I don't think I'm going to need that much. They're not going to have. Right now, we only need 1 robot at a time going to this station. It's not going to be a problem. If 2 robots want to go to this one station and say a picker is full, it can't pick up any more items, and a lumberjack needs to deposit his axe as well. If the picker is full and needs to go back here, this station will be occupied while the picker robot is, or the station will be reserved while the picker robot is on his way. The lumberjack robot, if it can't go here and it can't do anything else, it's just going to go home. And then after about a minute or so, it'll wake up and say, "Can I do something now?" So that's all. No big deal. It'll still work. It'll just be a little slower. Okay, let me grab a few items and make this a little bit easier, and then we'll be nearly ready to go. Okay, so just 1 minute. We have what we need. Now it is time to program and then let the tree farm run. Okay, so the first step is to set the gates in line. So we have a few here. This is going to be where the axes are going to be. And so when the axes, when there's items in this inventory, it's going to provide items for robots that need axes, in which case that's going to be the lumberjack. This is going to be where saplings go, and if there are items in inventory, well, actually it's the same exact information. So we'll just copy and paste. And there you go. And then what we put in here is going to be all the saplings. Ta-da! And actually, you know what? I want to reserve some saplings, because what we do want is, as well, we want to specify here that only saplings are going towards the red. So in the red line, we need oak saplings, birch saplings, and jungle saplings. Now bear in mind, guys, I have the forestry mod installed, and forestry, when you have these trees close together and you have like butterflies and everything around, they can actually cross-pollinate one another, and you can get mutated other offspring saplings that may not be these. They won't stack on top of these, therefore they won't be filtered into here. So any other cross-pollinated saplings should go into this chest. So as long as we do that and we leave the other stuff open, the items coming in through here will just exit out the green. So the only things that'll be filtered off will be these saplings. Great! Okay, so the next step is, and actually the final step here, is instead of this, we actually don't want that. We want to use an emerald pipe, because this will allow us, in theory, to do this round-robin mode of, let's take oak, birch, and jungle. What I don't want to happen is, you see how I have 63 oak, 8 jungle, and 13 birch? If it just goes in order and pulls with a wooden pipe, it'll plant 63 oak saplings before it gets a chance to do jungle saplings, and basically we'll never ever get to birch, because by the time these mature into trees, it may not even be done planting, and yeah. So we definitely don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead and I think I still have it copied. No, I do not. Let's copy it. Let's copy it again. Paste it once more. And now items in inventory provide items, and this should provide these items in the round robin mode. Okay, so in theory we should have oak. What was it again? It was oak, birch, jungle. Before I place the robots, if I place them, they'll immediately start to go to work. So what I want is to use this to have them running. So let's set our gates first, then you place your robots. That's always a good thing. So the gates will have to say that if the red pipe signal is off, the robots are going to go to home. So it's going to be go to station if the red signal is off. If the red signal is on, they are going to... so if this is going to be the planter, it's going to load, unload in the area of tree load, and it's going to work in area of trees. So it's going to pick up the saplings from the load, unload area and then plant them in the trees area. So glad I realized that this is actually an action. So it's going to be the exact same thing for the lumberjack. The load area is going to include that where he needs to pick up his axe. And then same thing for the picker. The picker robot is not going to pick up anything, but it's going to unload in that over there, which is, again, inside this load, unload, this tree load area. And he's going to pick up stuff that falls within the tree farm. So all of these are actually going to be exactly the same, which means we should use the gate copier because it is easier. Okay, now we're all set. And now we can place some robots. So let's go ahead and place the picker on top. Let's go ahead and place the lumberjack right here. And let's go ahead and place the planter down here. And then when we turn this on, ta-da, things go to life. So the picker does, well, okay, everybody goes to get some power because they're at 20% and they're like, hey, wait a minute, let me fill up. So I guess let's wait. Let us wait while the robots fill up on energy. So like I said, at the end of this episode, we'll have a working tree farm. It just won't be the most perfect, and maybe, just maybe if we're lucky, the forestry little glitch with the forestry saplings can be solved by the time we get to the next episode. I don't know if that's going to happen. What actually happens is the planter, which is that guy right there who's in green, he will pick up any forestry sapling. He realizes it's a sapling, and so he picks it up. But then has no idea that it's plantable, so he just picks it up and says, so I got this thing, I'm not really sure how to use it. And eventually just goes back home because he's not really sure what to do. That's what robots generally, when they don't know what to do, they don't just stop and do nothing. They generally just go home and go basically crying to their mommies and say, my programming is not helpful. So Lumberjack's going to pick up his axe. Picker's going to do absolutely nothing because there's no items. And Lumberjack has nothing to cut down, so he goes back home. And the planter picks up the oak sapling first and goes to a location here. I don't know, probably, so this is north and east. Maybe he goes to the northeast. No, it's kind of in a random location. It used to plant in a very obvious pattern. It tries to be random from what I understand. So the next one, if the round robin is working correctly, should be something not oak. And yet it's oak. So it should be oak, birch, jungle, but that is not what's happening. And I gotta be honest, I knew this happens. I knew this would happen. So this is a problem we will need to solve. So let's turn this off. Let's have this guy go back. This is a problem we will need to solve. Let's think about how to solve this problem. So, how do we solve our little problem? I'm not sure if maybe there's a thing where I'm not actually using this this gate correctly on an emerald gate, but it doesn't matter. For now, let's just say maybe it just doesn't work. I don't know. We're going to assume it doesn't work. So we need to have it round robin mode, and I wanted to have it, let's just say oak, birch, jungle. That way we know it'll be it'll be the it'll be that way instead. So oak birch jungle is what it needs to be. So I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use an alt-archic gate to pump out of here. My goodness, what's going on? But what we're going to be doing is, this is not where the robot's going to pick it up. It's going to actually go into a kind of a holding chest, a buffer, if you will. I guess we could use a filtered buffer for this, but we don't need to. And here is where the robot is going to pick up the items. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to have it say, oh, I do need, you know, I want it to be close because I don't want it to transfer that many items. So let me just do it this way. Yeah, we can do it this way. So we'll just have a red pipe wire, because I can't specify an inventory here because it doesn't know which direction, which inventory to check. But what I wanted to do is check to say if this inventory is empty, send out a red pipe signal. And this is going to pulse if it gets a red pipe signal, if there are items in inventory, which is, oh, I guess it doesn't matter because I don't know which one it's going to check, so I guess it doesn't matter. So if it gets a red signal and the pipe is empty, I want it to do a single pulse. Single energy pulse. Single energy pulse. Okay, so it'll basically do this and send one item in there, two. So this is sending the correct items. It's going to send these two. And then when the robot comes and picks it up, it's going to pick up this first, it's going to pick up that one second, and then it's going to be empty again, and then this should send a jungle and then an oak, and then it'll do that. It'll just go by a very quick fashion. It should transport it very quickly. What I don't want to happen is if this chest is empty, the sapling, the planter robot, will come here and expect there to be an item in here. So I don't want that to happen. This needs to be set now. If there are items in inventory, go and provide items. I think that should be fine. That should be fine. We can set it to be like, if there is no redstone signal, go and collect items, just like I have it set over here, which is if there's no redstone signal, then accept items, which means we can actually give it a redstone signal to shut off the item collection. But yeah, we don't need to do that. Okay, so this should actually work just fine. So now this should solve our problem. It basically just uses the behavior of the robots, but gets around our problem. So there goes the planter robot. He's making his way. He's going to plant the oak one that he's got in his hand at the time. There you go. You might hear the errant explosion. That would be our robot mob farm going to do its thing. Okay, and at this point in time, it's going to pick up the oak because that's what's sitting there first. And then it should pick up the birch. That's going to go ahead and plant. Go on and do your thing, dude. Do your thing. That's a good place. That's a great place to do it. Okay, just as long as the robot plants by the time the item, one item gets back in this chest, we should be fine. Because you'll notice as soon as he picks it up, this is now off. The robot can't go there. It's not going to go get items, but now it is. So that's good. Okay, and so it sent a jungle and then an oak, just like it should. Perfect, and now he's going to plant the jungle first because that's the first item available, and then he'll get the oak. So this is the way around it, and oh, there's a tree. There's a tree. Dude, there's a tree. Do your thing. It'll take him a while. It'll take a second to recognize that there's something to cut. Come on. Come on, lumberjack. Do your thing. Yeah, puff of redstone smoke. That's a nice animation to indicate that he is kind of on. He's just sleeping. The robots do wake up every minute or so, so we'll sit here and wait until he actually wakes up. And there he goes. Okay, he realizes there's a tree. He's like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm supposed to be cutting down a tree. Similarly, the picker robot will probably wait a while by the time he notes an item is actually there. I think one picker robot should be enough, but we might need more than one. We'll have to see. But I believe that's going to be enough. One lumberjack is going to be plenty here, absolutely plenty. And it'll take a while. So the logs are falling down. That means the picker robot should realize that there's some items here. And then, of course, there's going to be some saplings that fall, and that's just the way it goes. So come on, picker, do your thing. So we're getting a nice selection of trees. There should be a jungle sapling around here somewhere. I didn't see where he placed it. Is that it over there? Yeah, that's a jungle sapling back there. Okay, cool. Picker robot should be going. It'll take, like I said, it'll take a moment or two. But this is working just fine. So these will all be planted in a moment, in a very short while. So there goes our picker robot. He is going out to fetch the logs here, as well as any saplings, like the sapling up there. Since we denoted an area with the zone planner denotes all Y values within that area. Okay, and that's, at this point in time, all the items that are here. Before the picker robot goes back home, he might notice that more items fall. We'll see. More saplings could fall. But going back here, dropping off the items. There you go. Oh, how nice is that? Okay, and then obviously the sapling should go to the right, or it should go there in the red, the one sapling, and the wood should continue out this way. We don't need anything fast. Doesn't need to be fast, it just needs to be a farm, but this will generate quite a lot of trees once it gets going, and a lot of wood and saplings. So this is working just fine. Alright, we have ourselves a working robot tree farm. That was actually quite easy. Not too many resources here, and it's a reasonably working tree farm. With some alternating saplings, that's the sort of special thing we're putting in. And also in this episode we solved, that's a good question, I don't know. There's no robots right now, and these stations are all red, and I just heard an explosion, so it seems like we solved our night problem. Still haven't had anybody drop off a sword yet, but that's okay. Haven't had them run for too long, and I don't see any more night robots here, so that's a good sign, and I just heard an explosion not too long ago. And none of these have turned green. If a robot is turned into an item or is destroyed, one of these will turn green because the robot where it belongs is no longer available. So if I can't find my robots, they're probably stuck in more walls, and it's just a matter of clearing more area around our robot farm to make sure that they don't get stuck there. So it shouldn't be a problem for them getting stuck in walls anymore. The last thing we're going to be doing today before we go, and I believe there should be enough daylight left. Oh, I really hope so. Okay, almost there. Is this. We're going to place and mount on the wall our very first rotten flesh that was obtained through robotic means. We should plant it somewhere close to here, so I think it would be making sense. I'm not going to put it on there. I'm going to put it, you know, I'm going to put it, we're going to give it like a little, whoa, okay, there you go. We're going to give it like a little place of honor right here. Right there. The very first rotten flesh. Ah, that's so nice. A commemorative occasion, or an occasion to commemorate our working robot mob farm and our working rudimentary robot tree farm. Cool, Lumberjack's on his way doing his thing. Nice. Okay, so this is working, guys. Thanks for watching. That'll do it for this episode. We will be improving upon this tree farm, building in maybe some more functionality a little bit later, or in the next episode, I believe. And we might be fixing and maybe adding doors here, I think. Probably a good idea. Okay, see you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye now.